Have you ever wondered why some students effortlessly ace their exams while others struggle, no matter how many hours they study? Why do some people retain information long after the test, while others forget everything within days? If you think it's because of IQ or natural intelligence, you're mistaken. The real reason? They study differently. Most students rely on traditional study methods like reading the same chapter over and over again, hoping it sticks, highlighting and underlining everything in their textbook, cramming the night before an exam. But what if I told you these methods are scientifically proven to fail? Think about it. Schools teach you what to study, but never teach you how to learn efficiently. And that's exactly where most students go wrong. Now, let's talk about top-performing students. The ones who always seem to understand things faster, score higher, and never look stressed about exams. Most people assume they're just naturally gifted geniuses, born with an advanced ability to absorb knowledge. But that's far from the truth. What really sets them apart is the way they study. They don't waste time with ineffective techniques. Instead, they use psychology-backed study methods, proven to help them learn faster, retain information longer, solve problems with ease. And here's the best part. Anyone can use these techniques. They're not just for elite students. They work for anyone willing to break free from bad study habits and apply smarter methods. Now, here's something shocking. Research shows that most students forget 90% of what they study within a week. That means no matter how many hours you spend buried in books, you're likely wasting most of your time if you're using the wrong methods. But what if you could study half the time and remember twice as much? What if you could unlock your brain's full learning potential without feeling exhausted or overwhelmed? Well, today, I'm going to show you 4 powerful study techniques that high-achieving students use every day to stay ahead. These techniques will transform the way you learn, making studying feel easier, faster, and more effective than ever before. And trust me, the last one will change everything for you. So, if you're ready to stop struggling, stop forgetting, and start studying like a top 1% student, let's dive into study technique number 1, active recall, the memory hack that works like magic. Most students believe that rereading notes and textbooks is the best way to remember information. But here's the reality. Passive reading is useless. Your brain learns best when it's forced to actively retrieve information, not just recognize it. And that's exactly what active recall does. Imagine this. You spend hours reading a textbook. Everything feels clear in the moment, but when you try to recall it later, you remember almost nothing. That's because reading alone creates an illusion of learning. You feel like you understand, but the information doesn't stick. Here's how active recall fixes this. Step 1. Read a section once. Don't highlight, don't take notes yet. Just read to understand. Step 2. Close the book and try to recall the key points without looking. Step 3. Write it down or say it out loud as if you're teaching it to someone. Step 4. Open your book again and compare. See what you got right and what you missed. Step 5. Repeat this process until you can recall everything effortlessly. Why does this work? Because every time you struggle to retrieve information, you force your brain to strengthen those memory connections. It's like working out. The more you challenge your brain, the stronger your memory gets. A study from Washington University found that students who used active recall scored 50% higher on tests than those who just reread their notes. So next time you study, don't just read, test yourself. Technique number 2. The Feynman technique. Learn anything 2 times faster. You've probably experienced this before. You think you understand something until you try to explain it to someone else. Suddenly, you realize you don't know it as well as you thought. This is where the Feynman technique comes in. It was developed by Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, who believed that if you can't explain something simply, you don't really understand it. Here's how it works. Step 1. Choose a concept you want to master. Step 2. Pretend you're teaching it to a 5-year-old. Not to a professor, not to your classmates, but to a child who knows nothing about the topic. Step 3. Identify the gaps in your understanding. If you get stuck or struggle to explain, go back to your notes and relearn that part. Step 4. Simplify your explanation even further. Use everyday language, analogies, and real-life examples. Step 5. Repeat until you can explain it effortlessly. Why is this so powerful? Because when you break complex ideas into simple, clear explanations, it forces your brain to truly understand the material instead of just memorizing words. Think about top students. They don't just memorize formulas and definitions. They understand the why behind them. That's why the Feynman technique is one of the fastest ways to master difficult subjects. Technique number 3, the Pomodoro technique. Boost focus and avoid burnout. Do you ever sit down to study for hours but find yourself distracted, exhausted, or unproductive? That's because your brain isn't designed to focus for long periods without breaks. The solution? The Pomodoro technique. This method was developed by Francesco Cirillo and is based on working in short, focused bursts instead of forcing yourself to concentrate for hours. Here's how it works. Step 1. Set a timer for 25 minutes. This is your focused study session. No distractions, no breaks. Step 2. Study with 100% concentration. No social media, no checking your phone, no multitasking. Step 3. When the timer ends, take a 5-minute break. Walk around, stretch, drink water, or relax. Step 4. Repeat this cycle 4 times, then take a longer 20 to 30-minute break. Why does this work? Because your brain works best in short, intense bursts of focus. Instead of spending 3 hours half studying, half distracted, you spend focused 25-minute blocks where you actually absorb the information. Studies have shown that the Pomodoro technique increases productivity by up to 40% while reducing mental fatigue. So if you struggle with procrastination, distractions, or burnout, try this method. It might change the way you study forever. Technique number 4. Spaced repetition. The secret to never forgetting anything. Have you ever noticed that you remember song lyrics from years ago, but forget what you studied last week? That's because your brain prioritizes repeated information over time. The biggest mistake students make is cramming, studying everything at once, hoping it sticks. But science shows that cramming only helps short-term memory. Within a few days, most of it is forgotten. The solution? Spaced repetition. This method helps you remember anything for years, not just for the test. Here's how it works. Step 1. Study a new topic today. Step 2. Review it briefly after 24 hours. Step 3. Review it again after 3 days. Step 4. Review it again after a week. Step 5. Keep reviewing at longer intervals, every 2 weeks, then once a month. Each time you review, the information gets stored deeper in your memory. Apps like Anki and Quizlet use this technique to help students memorize vast amounts of information permanently. In a study at the University of California, students who used spaced repetition remembered 92% of their material, while those who crammed forgot over 80% within a week. If you've ever struggled with forgetting everything right after the exam, this technique will solve that problem forever. Struggling with studying? Use these 4 powerful techniques. They'll help you learn faster and remember longer. Try them today and see the difference. Like, share, and subscribe.